Hey everybody, welcome back to another very exciting Photoshop Daily Creative Challenge. I am your host, Jesus Ramirez. How's it going? There's always a lot of action going on in the chat. Let me know if you can hear me. I can see that we have a lot of familiar faces. I see Sean, Valdier, Carol, Lore, Ferry, Devika, Susan, Christina, Judith, Mark, Levana. Good to see you. Thank you so much for joining me this morning or this afternoon, depending on where you're watching from. I'm currently in Manchester, UK, so it's a nice afternoon for me. Let me know in the chat where you're watching from. And cool. Yep, I see people saying hello. Awesome. Welcome, everybody. Thank you so much for joining me. We have Art from San Diego. Hey, Art. How's it going? Good to see you. Van Dam designer in the house. Haven't seen you in a while, Van Dam. Good to see you in the chat. Awesome. Cool. We have Ferry from Indonesia. Awesome. So before we get started, let me quickly take care of some housekeeping items. I'm going to switch over to my screen where I'm going to show you the behance.net/challenge/Photoshop page. And from this page, you may need to make sure that you click on this big blue button so that you can join the Daily Creative Challenge. You'll receive notifications via the Creative Cloud app. Also, make sure that you scroll to the bottom of the page so that you can see each of these boxes that will unlock every single morning. Today, we're going to work with a Parallax portrait. If you remember, in this set of Daily Creative Challenges, I'm using the same photo on every single Daily Creative Challenge, but we're going to apply a different effect on each of the challenges. But you're free to use whatever photo you like. You don't have to use the same one. You can switch it up every day if you like, but I'll be using the same photo. But if you want to download the file that I'll be using, make sure that you click on the Get Started button and you can download the file so that you can follow along with me. Also, if I go too fast or you forget how something works, all these Daily Creative Challenges are recorded, so make sure that you click on these watch video buttons to watch the replay for each of the Daily Creative Challenges. By the way, if you're watching from YouTube, make sure that you head over into behance.net/live so that you can comment live and I can read your comments. I cannot read your comments if you are in YouTube. Let me take a look at the comments. We're talking about comments so much, so let me see what the comments say. Art, thank you so much. He's saying he enjoys my tutorials on YouTube. Thank you so much. Leslie from Tampa. Cool. Yeah, just everybody saying hi. I'm so glad that everyone's here. We had a good day yesterday. We had a conversation, an interesting conversation about pizza, and then we worked on a project which I will show to you in just a second. And I'm actually opening up Discord, so let me switch over to my screen here so that you guys can see my Discord app. By the way, the way that you get into Discord is from the Daily Creative Challenge page. If you go into this section, number 2, join the community chat, you can have access to the community where people are submitting the work. We're all interacting. People have questions. We can help you out with whatever you need. And actually, if you're watching a recording, and I know that probably Sam will post the link in the chat, but the link is up above my head so you can follow us on Discord. So let me switch over to my screen again, and here we are. And if you go into the Photoshop section under Current Challenge, you'll see all the submissions for yesterday's challenge. Challenge number 1, Portrait Pizzazz. As you can see, there's a lot of great work. Thank you so much for submitting. Still not too late. If you worked on something yesterday or if you're catching up today, you can still submit. No worries if it's late. And if you have any questions, make sure that you leave them on Discord. I'm there. The Adobe team is there. The Adobe mentors are there. So make sure that you come in and submit your work. Talking about submitting your work, make sure that you also submit it into behance.net. Make sure that you create a project and use the hashtag PS Daily Challenge so that you can have an opportunity to be featured in the Creative Challenges curated community page, which is this one right here. As you can see, there's a lot of good work here, so you can come in here, check it out, and get inspired. And make sure that you use the hashtag anytime that you create any work using the Daily Creative Challenges for XD, Photoshop, or Illustrator. And again, check out the gallery. It's a really awesome gallery. So, what's everybody's favorite pizza? No, just kidding. We talked about that yesterday. We talked about pizza so much yesterday. So we're gonna get right into Photoshop today. So what I'm gonna do is show you guys the project that I worked on yesterday. This is the final result for yesterday's project, which is Portrait Pizzazz, where we use filters to create this effect. Today, we're gonna do something a little different. We're gonna create the parallax effect in Photoshop. So we're going to create an animation. We're going to use a timeline feature in Photoshop to create an animation, and then we're going to export that animation as a GIF, or you can export it as a video if you like. Cool. Let me just see if there's any questions in the chat before we get started. We have Ralph in the chat. Hey Ralph, good to see you. We have Alejandro, Michelle. Hey Michelle, good to see you again. Awesome. Brad. We have Kyle, Colleen, Nadia, and Andreas. Cool. We have a lot of people commenting. That's awesome. We have Christian from Santiago, Chile. That's super cool. Never been to Chile. I would like to visit sometime. We have Alana from Southern California. Everything's on fire. Yeah, it seems like the entire state. I left the Bay Area, the San Francisco Bay Area, the day that it was completely orange. I think a lot of you might have seen on social media how San Francisco was just orange for an entire day. That's the day that I left. We have Dawn Marie from Tampa, Florida. Thank you for joining us. Carol, pizza for lunch. If you go back and watch yesterday's video, there was a lot of good suggestions for pizza. Cool. All right, so let's just get right into it. So this is the image that I'm going to work with. Again, you can download this image from behance.net/challenge/Photoshop, challenge number 2, parallax portrait. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to separate my model from the background so that I can move them independently and create an animation, and it'll make it seem as if the photo is moving. So if you're familiar with the Ken Burns documentaries, then you'll kind of know what I'm talking about. He uses this technique, not done in Photoshop. They probably do it in After Effects, but you can do the same thing in Photoshop, where you take a still photo and make it seem as if there's motion and depth. So that's what we're going to work on today. And by the way, since I know a lot of people have been watching a lot of documentaries on lockdown, let me know in the chat what a good documentary to watch is. I'm a big fan of documentaries, so let me know if there's a good one that I haven't seen. We have Susan from Pleasanton. Oh, we can see the foothills from yeah, I'm really close to Pleasanton. I live really close to Pleasanton, so it's super cool that we can see the hills. And yes, that is a banana under my toolbar. If Zoom tool, if you want to know how I got that, watch the replay for the welcome stream. I showed how to add that. Cool. All right, so what I'm gonna do is just I duplicate the layer. So I'll select the layer, press Ctrl J on Windows, Command J on the Mac. I always like to name my layers to know what's going on. So I have a background layer and I have a man layer. We'll call him man. And what I want to do first is I want to subtract him from the background. Really easy to do in Photoshop 2020 and newer. Under Quick Actions, if your layer is unlocked or not a smart object, a regular pixel layer, you can click on Remove Background. This will use Adobe Sensei. This is artificial technology, machine learning technology that will analyze the photo and find the main subject, select it, and automatically create a layer mask. The layer mask may not be perfect, and that's okay. You can always edit the layer mask by using the brush tool and painting with black to hide or white to reveal. And you can even select the layer mask and go into the selected mask workspace and refine it from here if you like. In this case, I really like what the select subject did, so I really won't make much of a change except maybe adding a little bit of contraction. Cool. So, oh, Mia says, I got the banana yesterday. I feel complete, LOL. Yes, Mia, you have to have a banana in the toolbar. Let me know in the chat if you have a banana in your toolbar. But yeah, I always add the banana to my toolbar on all my installations of Photoshop, laptop, desktop, wherever I can add it. Cool. So now that we have this layer with just the man, I'm going to hide it and I'm going to enable the background, and I need to remove him from the background. And I'll do that by holding Control on Windows, Command on the Mac, and clicking on the layer mask icon from the layer above. And then I'm going to expand that mask so it's not right on the edge of the model, it's a little bit off his body. So I can go into select, modify, and expand. And 5 pixels should be good. The amount of pixels really depends on the selection, the size of the image. As long as you have space between him and the selection, it should work. If you feel like you need more, you can always go back in there and add more. Totally cool. So in this case, I added 10 pixels, 5 plus 5. And what I'm gonna do now is with the background layer selected, I'm gonna go into Edit, Content Aware Fill. Just as a side note, if you go into Fill and go into Content Aware, Photoshop is just going to apply an automatic Content Aware Fill, which may or may not work depending on the image. These days, it's much better to go into into Edit, Content Aware Fill, because you'll have a lot more options to apply the Content Aware Fill. In this case, it'll do a good job. So all I will need to do is simply press press OK. Notice that the fill is not perfect, but I will be able to edit it. And it's taking a second here just to apply that fill. While it's doing that, I'll check out the chat. Oh, Anissa's asking, what does the banana do? It doesn't do anything. It's just fun. Kyle is asking, what about toast? Well, you really can't add toast. You can just kind of make it come up. So I'll show everyone what he means by that. Cool. Remind me to show you guys the coffee cups and toasts before the end of the stream. That way we do that at the end and I make sure I get through the entire daily creative challenge, because this is sort of a longer one. All right, cool. So Photoshop has now created that fill. It's really good. There are some imperfections. I'm not going to worry about it. I'll only worry about it if it's noticeable in the animation. So what I'll do is I'll hold Shift, select both layers, and then I'll right click and convert these layers into a smart object. So now I have a smart object. A smart object is a container that allows you to apply editable adjustments, distortions, filters, and transformations. So you can always come back and make changes if you need to. Then I have this man layer, which I somehow changed to screen. So I changed the blending mode back to normal, but there he is. And I'll also convert this layer into a smart object. So now I have 2 layers. There he is. And it's now time to animate the layers here. Actually, I'm laughing because I just read a comment by Marsha saying, where's the martini icon? Give us that. Definitely. We definitely need a martini icon. So with these layers, I'm going to go into Window and Timeline. And this is going to open up the Timeline panel. Make sure that Create Video Timeline is selected, not Frame Animation, Video Timeline. And click on the Create Video Timeline button, and then you'll have your timeline here. There you go. A video, but it's not moving, right? And it's not moving because it's a photo. So we have to tell Photoshop to move the photo to different locations and scale it and do all sorts of different things. So I can click on these icons to expand the video layers. So these are video layers, and I can add a keyframe. I'll start with the man right here. I clicked on the stopwatch icon and it added a keyframe, that little yellow diamond. That is just basically Photoshop remembering the settings for the transformation. In the beginning, the settings are default. That's where I'm going to leave them. But at the end, I can press Control T on Windows, Command T to transform, and I can scale him up. And what I'll do is I'll double click on the hand tool to fit it to screen. And I'll press Control T, Command T again to transform, and I'll scale up. So this is where the animation will end, like so. So if I scrub by clicking on the playhead through the timeline, you can see that from keyframe number 1, he moves to keyframe number 2. Very simple. And you can click on these arrows to go between keyframes, like so. And now I can select the background layer and go to the beginning. And in this case, what I'll do is I'll press Control T, Command T to transform, and I'll scale this up, like so. And then I'll make sure that I have my transform keyframe stopwatch active, and I'll go to the very last keyframe there, and I'll press Control T, Command T on the Mac to transform, and I will zoom out or make it smaller. Creates the same effect. Like so. Maybe not all the way down. Totally up to you. Right here. So now when I scrub, oops, let me commit that change. When I scrub, you can see the effect, creating that effect there. And I'm creating what's known as the dolly parallax effect. With a real camera, the way that you would do it is if you're filming something, you can zoom in as you're walking back, or vice versa. Walk forward and zoom out, and you create a similar effect. Parallax dolly effect. But anyway, that's what I'm creating here. And I'm tapping on the space bar to apply, to play the video. I'm going to press Control S, Command S on the Mac to save, because I want to keep working on this and I don't want to lose it if something happens to Photoshop. Oh, can I move myself to their side of the screen? Sorry about that, guys. Thank you for letting me know. There I am. Sorry about that. So I'll quickly explain what I was talking about, since I was covering these layers. So this little diamond here creates these little diamonds here create keyframes. That's the little stopwatch that I was talking about, and these little triangles hop you from one keyframe to the next, and you can see the playhead moving. So thank you for letting me know that I was covering the screen. Cool. Let me see if there's any other questions. Awesome. Yep, just people letting me know to move over to their side. Yep, I just moved over. Thank you so much for letting me know. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, cool. So this is the effect as we have it so far. And the cool thing about this technique is that there's a lot of different things that we can do, right? We could also, I'll do it on the background. I can double click to the side of the layer, and actually I'll create the style stopwatch. And I'll double click to the side of the layer, and I'll just add a color overlay, and it doesn't really matter what color it is. This is just for an example, but I'm going to set the opacity to, I don't know, maybe 65 so that it's noticeable. I know it's not going to look great, but I want to show you the technique, so I'll make it something really strong. And then I'll move to the end of the clip, and I'll go into color overlay, and I'll bring the opacity down to 0. So now you'll notice that when I play the clip, the layer style is also animated, so you can create some really cool effects. See that? Super, super cool. If you notice that maybe there's something wrong with either the background and you need to clone, heal, or patch some areas that the content overfill didn't get, you can always double click on the smart object to open it up. In this case, I'm going to double click on this smart object and show you something really, really cool. We can also create a timeline inside of this smart object. So now there's a timeline inside of the smart object and one outside of it. And what I can do is I can come into the libraries panel, and then I have these glasses here, so I can add glasses on him like so, and I can place them. I can save this. And when I go back into my parallax effect, he's wearing sunglasses, and the animation is exactly the same. And the super cool thing that you can do is that you can also animate the glasses. So maybe I'll select opacity and set the opacity to 0. And then at about 3 seconds in, they're going to appear at 100%. So you can see the animation here. See that? They're gonna appear. Boom. Super cool. Almost like the Avengers, like how Iron Man turns on his suit and it just goes on him. That's kind of what we're doing with his glasses. So then when we play the animation, you can see how we animate that feature. And here's another movie analogy for you guys. It's kind of like Inception, a dream within a dream within a dream. So we have an animation within an animation, and we can add even another animation in there if we wanted to. So yeah, I have movie references all day long. We talked about pizza yesterday. Why not talk about movies today? Cool. He created keyframes and changed the appearances of the two layers at the different keyframes. I'm not sure I understand that comment there, and if I need to explain it, let me know. Cool. It's Robin says, "Oh, cool! Didn't know you could do that." I'm guessing that you meant about the animation within an animation. So let me know. Oh, listen, Jesus, you should have the glasses fly down his face. All right, let me try that. I got a couple of minutes, so I can try that. I'll take your suggestion, Christina. Let me know in the comments if you guys knew about having animations inside of animations. So what I could do now is maybe start with. What I'll do is I'll click on the stopwatch to remove those animations. I'll set the keyframes. I'm sorry, to remove the keyframes for the opacity. Bring the opacity to 100. Enable the transform, and then like about second number 3, he's just gonna drop his glasses, and then I'll rotate them so that they spin off his face. So there you go. Whoop, they fell, and actually they need to go lower. So let me just move them lower, out of frame there. I'll save it, and then when I play this animation, you should see that he's hanging out, and oh my god, his glasses are falling off. And actually, I could add a drop shadow to that. So what I could do is come in here and double click on. I don't need to animate the. Maybe I should probably animate the drop shadow, but I don't have a lot of time. There's still something else I want to show you guys, but I'll just give it a little bit of a drop shadow just so that we have something there. So save it, come back into the main animation, and there he is. His glasses fall off. So there you go. What I'm gonna do now is show you guys how to export this as an animated GIF. And you have to use the old school method of exporting files. If you go into File, Export, Save for the Web Legacy, and actually before you do any of that, I'm glad I remembered. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go into Image, Image Size, and I'm just gonna make this like 400 pixels so that it's not so huge, because you really wouldn't have an animated GIF that is, 1920 by 1080. It'll most likely be 400 pixels wide or even smaller. So we'll go for 400 in this case, and I'll press OK. The animation is still there, and I'm gonna go into File, Export, Save for the Web Legacy, and under this drop down, I'm going to select GIF. And this is going to take a while depending on the speed of the computer, the complexity of the animation, the frame size, but hopefully shortly you'll be able to get the options to play the animated GIF and edit any other settings that you want. While Photoshop is doing that, let me see if there's any comments in the chat. Bollywood movie style, definitely. Cool. Alexandra wrote, "This is all new to me. I definitely need to try this." Yes, definitely try this. It's really not that difficult. And if you get stuck, you can come back and watch the stream. And also make sure that you submit all your GIFs to Discord. I'm looking forward to seeing what you guys create. And here we go. Now we have the settings. You really don't need to change anything. I would just set the looping options to forever. When I click on play, you can see the animation there. See that? There's my little animation. I can click on save and just save it anywhere I like. I'll save it onto my desktop, and there it is. It's saving. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for that. Before we go, let me quickly show you guys the schedule. We started the day with, actually, I don't think this is a schedule for today. Sorry about that, guys. I don't have the appropriate schedule, so make sure that you check the schedule out. I don't think I switched it over into the Wednesday schedule, so my bad. But yeah, thank you so much for joining me. Make sure that you go into Discord. Discord is right here. You can click on the community chat and then submit your work on here so that I can see the animations that you created. I'm looking forward to seeing what you guys do. Also, make sure that you submit your work onto Behance and use the PS Daily Challenges hashtag so that you can have an opportunity to be featured in the Creative Challenges curated community gallery. So make sure you do that. Also, you're on Behance right now because I can see you're chatting. So make sure that you follow me on Behance. Just click on my profile and click on follow, and you can check out all the work that I've done. And you can also watch some of my previous longer 2-hour streams. Some of these are by myself, like this one here. Some of them are with the awesome Lisa Carney. I've done some with Claudia from Print My Soul. So make sure that you come in here and check that out. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. If you have any questions, make sure that you leave them on Discord. I'll be back again tomorrow for day number 3 of the Photoshop Daily Creative Challenge. Okay, guys, thanks so much, and I'll talk to you again tomorrow. Have a great day. Bye.